Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the morning show right here on Main Street TV. And of course, Jennifer here with our good friend Pete Wilson to start off the morning news update. And because it's Thursday.
It is Thursday,
right? It is. And the morning news update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you are looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs, give Nia a call. She's the one to call, 740-418-4135, and she'll work hard for you. How's that?
Okay, very good. That you are telling the truth.
I tell the truth.
Right. I think you usually do, but you just told the truth about Nia.
Listen, you can
sponsor or no sponsor, you told the truth.
That's right. People can accuse me of a lot of things, but not telling the truth is not one of them.
Right. Mushrooms and truth. That's your baby.
There you go.
And horses.
There you go. Right. And being the horse queen.
Right, exactly. All right, well, we do have a formidable stack here to go through.
So you're saying you're full of it?
Bad, good, and bad. Yeah, yes, I am full of it. I am full of it. Whatever that means. Okay, I have a lot to tell you.
Whatever it is, you're full of it.
Yes, that's true. That's true. The bucket is not half. The bucket is not half empty today. That's for sure.
Oh man!
All right. Well, we're going to start off with a mystery in Vinton County involving a dead body. Now, we don't know a whole lot. I have a whole paragraph to throw at you, but at least it's confirmed information.
What?
No official news release has been put out by the Vinton County Sheriff's Office, but I have got at least confirmation because, the burning social media and the inquiries and like that. They have said that this came out on Tuesday, by the way. The Vinton County Sheriff's Office has confirmed it is investigating the discovery of a dead body that was found Tuesday in a wooded area on private property off Curry Road. Curry Road is a little road west of MacArthur, several miles outside town. There was no immediate identification of the body. I don't know whether the status of that has changed, but at first it was unidentified and it was still unidentified for a while. So, that's a big part in trying to solve the mystery. There has been no word, male or female. There has been no word about the condition of the corpse as far as how recently, the person may have died, nor has there been any information about whether this is a crime or not, or a suspected crime. But it is something that the Sheriff's Office is working on, I'm sure, around the clock probably. But we expect, they do say, and they have said this more than once, they know that they need to put something out on there as soon as they pull some facts together. And I think the identification of the body is a big thing. When, like I say, depending on the condition of the body and whether you can, identify anybody just from the looks, one of the things that they're always doing outside of, looking at, the scene and all like that, they're trying to match up missing persons.
Sure.
And that sort of thing. They can do that by sight, maybe. They can certainly do that forensically and whatever. And so we just don't know what they have there. But but what they have is what I've told you, a dead body. I didn't say that there's a murder investigation. I didn't say there's not a murder investigation. We just don't know yet.
We don't know yet. Okay.
But it has not, all the facts have not come to light enough that they have felt like they really have much definitive to say beyond what they have said that we can report.
Okay.
So that is at the top of the list. And of course, we'll be staying on that story as well. Another big story out of Vinton County, Jennifer, involves Raccoon Creek. Now, we all know Raccoon Creek doesn't flow through Jackson County, but it flows through Vinton County, flows through Gallia County, ends up in the Ohio River. I think it starts up there around Newark or something. Newark, exactly. Now,
Newark.
Okay, that's the Appalachian interpretation.
Yes.
But actually, this is just a little trivia I'll throw in there. Technically, Raccoon Creek should be Raccoon River because it's over 100 miles long. It's just a little over 100 miles long, but they didn't measure it right, so forever it's been Raccoon Creek.
Only an Appalach, right, Pete?
Right, exactly. But anyway, the truth is that in the early part of the 20th century and into the mid-20th century, it was a very polluted creek. Nothing could live in it, or if it did, it had to be something with a real...
it glowed.
Right, exactly. Well, there was an effort to clean that up, stop the acid rain drippage into it and like that. And, now there is wildlife and fish, that can live around and use that creek, that waterway. However, that is why now the Ohio EPA and now the Ohio Attorney General's office is taking firm action regarding alleged pollution involving a sanitation company in Vinton County. Just earlier this week, Ohio Attorney General David Yost filed a temporary restraining order to stop a sanitation company from, he said, further polluting Raccoon Creek in Vinton County because this company is allegedly dumping an illegal amount of waste into the creek. Now, that company is A2Z Sanitation. It collects the waste on the company's property, which is on State Route 328 in New Plymouth. That's the northern part of the county. According to this news release from the Attorney General's office, the state has spent $20 million over the years on vital resources to clean up Raccoon Creek. That's what I referenced there just a minute ago, because it was affected by the acid mine drainage. A2Z owner Todd Zuspin's actions could potentially undo years of conservation of the watershed. This is a big deal. AG Yost has filed a civil complaint as well as 2 claims of unauthorized discharge of waste in violation of state law, and 2 claims of violating the permit that Zuspin has. Also 2 claims of illegal land application of waste and violation of Ohio's water quality standards. The Attorney General's firm action, and he put out a statewide news release on it, so he feels it's a big deal, follows an Ohio EPA investigation into a complaint about sewage in the water at Raccoon Creek. Investigators found the creek covered in red bacteria with some spots as far as 8 miles downstream from where it was allegedly being dumped in. A2Z is a sanitation company. It does have a permit to dispose of waste. However, they dumped more than twice the allowable sewage and restaurant grease the company had collected from June of 2020 to June of 2021. These are the complaints and the findings of the EPA investigation. Also, the claim is that A2Z dumped waste in wooded, overgrown areas not approved for a dumping site by the Ohio EPA. A2Z was also given authorization by the Ohio EPA in 2019 through a land application permit that allows it to spread screened liquids upon 50 acres of maintained land. They apparently violated this as well. Ohio EPA has tried to work with Zuspin, according to Attorney General Yost, but last week EPA officials had learned that he was not cleaning up the site as promised and that the contamination was actually continuing. So that is news out of Vinton County, coming out of Columbus, action by the Ohio EPA, and on top of that now very firm action in the form of a restraining order and more from Attorney General Dave Yost.
The EPA after you, that sounds like a bad deal.
Right, exactly. And now we don't have any information, perhaps it's available, perhaps it's ongoing, about if this has damaged the creek already. The pollution. The pollution did occur, and they are saying that it's at the doorstep of A2Z Sanitation. All right, we're going to go to COVID-19, and we do have some new information there. New information put out last night by the Vinton County Health Department, and there is a real concern about the increased cases of COVID-19 in Vinton County. In the last week, and we're talking August 18th through August 25th, and the infographic that James has just put up there is actually from last Monday, and we've got new information from this, but this is close. We have 838 total confirmed cases. Now that is over the life of the pandemic, but now, as of Monday, there were 32 active cases. Remember, there was a, I think back in mid-July, there was no active cases.
You're right.
Just 1 week in Vinton County, and now there's 32 active cases, 2 people hospitalized as of Monday. Now, these new stats that they put out in a post on Monday says that there is 70 new cases from the 18th through the 25th, from Wednesday to Wednesday.
What do you remember, thinking back, what were the highest amount of active cases, when we were in the thick of things? Do you remember?
Well,
I don't.
No, I don't, because it
was it hundreds?
Such a moving target. I think in Jackson County we were in 3 figures, 100 or over. I don't think Vinton County ever got close to that. Remember, Vinton County 13,000, Jackson County 32.
Yeah, so it's population based
So you know,
too.
yes, you got to look
ratio.
at that. You know, the raw numbers you can't compare. It's the percentage that matters.
Yes.
The percentage of penetration. But in Vinton County now, we'll look that up, Jennifer, because that is interesting.
Yeah.
But of these 72 new cases in Vinton County, this is another eye opener. In the last week, 32 of them, nearly half, involve persons under the age of 40. So this is a real defined trend, I think, everywhere. We know it is in Jackson County
getting younger, isn't it?
Younger people are getting it as well. Now, the VCHD made a breakdown, age brackets 0 to 9, all the way up to age 90. And the category with the most cases was ages. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you. You are okay, aren't you?
Oh, I believe so.
Okay. The number one category was ages. Let's see. The number one category was ages. Okay, let me say this right now. The number one category was ages 30 to 39, where there were 17 cases.
Okay.
17 cases out of those 32. But in the bracket
30 to 39.
In the bracket ages 0 to 9, there were 3, and in the ages 10 to 19, there were 17. Now that's
so
school
20,
age. A lot of those are in the school age bracket. Now, the health department in Vinton County also said there is no evidence, though, of student-to-student transmission in the schools.
Which I think we saw last year.
Because, that was a concern last year. We thought, oh, my gosh, all these people are going to come together at school, all those kids. And I think we all agreed that, it turned out pretty good considering what the possibilities were. But now, with the younger people being affected, and some of the younger people not being vaccinated, either because they're under the age of 12 or because, they're their choice, or parents didn't want maybe teenagers to get the vaccination. You've got a lot of unvaccinated people.
Yep.
So, we have a real concern here, and we'll just have to see how it all flips out. But on the other hand, we talked about the people who are more vulnerable, who have health conditions, and particularly the elderly. In the 60 to 69 category, there are only 7 cases in Vinton County, and 70 to 79 bracket only 4. So, most of the cases are middle age and younger in Vinton County right now.
It'd be interesting to see the ratio of, vaccinated versus not and all that.
Right.
Which gets into a whole huge thing of stats.
Right. And remember, they did that ratio thing to try to define statistically about how bad the COVID-19 spread is. And in Vinton County, the case rate is now 420 per 100,000. And remember, I remember this, maybe you remember this, the governor's standard for, going back to normal when, we had the restrictions was 50 cases per 100,000. So you can see how much worse it is in Vinton County than it was, just a month ago.
Right.
And right now, the word is recommended, on the mask wearing.
Yep.
So, once again, we'll see what's going on there. And the positivity rate in Vinton County, according to the health department, is 21%. So I think what that means is, when you get tested, 21% are testing positive. When the rate is high, the experts say that also means a lot of people aren't getting tested.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they believe that a lot of people aren't getting tested.
Why? Because they're afraid to?
Well, what they're meaning is that there's probably a lot more cases than what are being logged. When the positivity rate is high, they figure there's a lot more people out there. They just haven't been tested. Maybe they're asymptomatic, or maybe they're just going to work sick or whatever. Right now, there's 2 virus-related hospitalizations in Vinton County. The Vinton County Health Department says this. This is their advice. An old advice, but it's worth repeating. Multiple layers of protection to try to keep you safe as possible under these circumstances. Vaccination, of course, that's at the top of the list. Physical distancing, that's something that you could try to manage a little bit in day-to-day life.
Sure.
Not completely, but to a certain extent. Proper hand hygiene. masking, of course, staying home if you are sick, and avoiding large gatherings. So
all the things that we've been told since all of this started, right, Pete?
Right, exactly.
Like we sound like a broken record, don't we?
And remember, we're kind of back to normal right now. So I guess, figure for yourself what you ought to do and not do.
Man, I was in Columbus yesterday, and I had to go to some city offices, and I also stopped by a restaurant, and whatever. And there were a lot of masks out there.
And that's where now?
In Columbus.
Okay.
A lot. I think the city actually has started enforcing that their city workers and whatever are required to wear masks again. But even in the restaurant that I stopped by, there were a lot of masks.
Right. Okay. Well, it seems to be moving that direction, but there's still not a lot of mask mandates out there.
I mean, we all survived a year of it. What's a little bit longer?
Right. And the last time the governor made a stand, it was the vaccination. Yep. This is the route. And you also got to realize, not that politics matter, you also got to remember that right now the legislature, which is strongly Republican, if anything, they feel stronger than Governor DeWine was about, hey, listen, we got to stay with normal. We got to keep things open. We got to keep living our lives. So there's some of the restrictions,
it's like
tightening them up may not be completely politically possible right now.
Right. But it's like, where is that fine line, Pete? And this is just my question, thinking out loud. Where is that fine line, that happy medium between, people being responsible and protecting them from themselves?
I don't know that,
because there's some people out there that make some pretty idiotic statements.
Yes, they do. It's a great subject of debate.
And people are so intense about it, though. One way or however they feel, they're very adamant about it.
They certainly are, and that debate, it was there before. It's kind of always been there, and of course now you see it intensifying again.
Yeah.
Because the cases are going up, and I think everybody can agree that the vaccinations are good. I mean, that's hard to argue that now. But
there's a lot of people that'll argue that.
No,
though.
I know that, and at this point, there's not. It's happening at the colleges now, and the feds supposedly are, they're considering doing certain things, but right now, vaccinations just are not required of very many people. Highly recommended.
Yep.
But
I did see a couple of the colleges there. I saw a debate on the national news yesterday about it, that there are some colleges sending kids home.
Right.
And they're just flat out refusing to enroll them if they aren't vaccinated.
Several days, of course, Ohio State University is requiring that of students and staff.
And
I'm sure there may be some legal follow-through on that.
That's what I was going to say. And I think they have made some exceptions for like religious reasons and health reasons and things like that, if you get it written off. But I don't know. I look for the lawsuits to start flying.
Right.
I do.
And the way it happened the first time, when Ohio State does something, a lot of the other universities follow in place. Like Ohio University just has done this.
When Ohio State does it, people listen.
Right.
Wasn't there a commercial about that? Was it E.F. Hutton or something? People listen.
I think you're dating yourself, Carol. I believe you're right on that.
James is like, huh? Do you remember that, James? No.
E.F. Hutton, right. Okay.
I don't even know what E.F. Hutton was, but...
some kind of investment company, maybe. I don't know. All right. But anyway, here in Jackson County, we'll turn the page there. Okay. Health Commissioner Kevin Aston was at the Jackson County Commissioners meeting on Tuesday to do one of his updates there. It's at the Commissioners meeting, but kind of serves as a press conference, kind of, to get news out to the public because they know that the news media covers this. And he was very frank. He would like to see, us continue smartly and wisely. Mm-hmm. Doesn't want to shut down any festivals or events or anything. And he's not going to unless something comes from on high, from the federal or state level. However, he did sound this warning at the commissioners meeting. He said this: We all wish we were done with this, but it just won't quit. It's coming back around, and it's not over yet. I put that on in a headline to kind of for a little bit of impact there. But in Jackson County, the number of cases that he was reporting was 61 new confirmed cases in the last week, and that matched the 61 from the last week. So I don't know whether that's good or not, but 2 weeks in a row, 61, 61, and the last several weeks have been spiking up. Mm-hmm. So I don't know whether that's a blip, or we could call that plateauing or temporary. I don't know which direction it's going to go, but at least it wasn't going up. It was staying the same. But he also says that there's been 152 cases total since August the 1st, so that's an awful lot. He also said that there's been 26 what they call breakthrough cases, Jennifer. That's cases where immunized people catch the virus.
Sure.
Which is scary, because I bet you thought, and I thought, when that needle stuck on our arm, did you do the Johnson & Johnson?
I did.
Okay, you got stuck once, I got stuck twice. We thought when we got stuck, we're great now.
We're good to go.
Can't say about the world and the rest, but we're going to be okay.
We've done our part.
Because we're vaccinated. We're protecting ourselves, and we're protecting others. Well, maybe not completely. However, remember, I'll say this again, everybody doesn't seem to argue this case. If you are vaccinated and you do somehow become infected, it affects you a lot less seriously than it would if you were unvaccinated. So I don't know whether that is a medical fact or not, but that is what they all say.
Yeah, that's what you're hearing anyway.
Right, exactly. All right, so once again, he said the same thing. Wear masks, stay sanitized, remain as socially distanced as possible. And he mentioned the festivals. Of course, the Ohio Hill Country Festival coming up the first week of September, the Jackson Apple Festival coming up the third week of September. Right now, there are no restrictions in place for that. There's no mask wearing or whatever. But, just try to be smart there, as far as managing, if it makes you feel better to wear a mask, socially distance as much as possible.
Who cares? Wear a mask. Who cares anymore, right?
That's exactly right. But anyway, as far as vaccines, we do want to report this because there is an opportunity to get some vaccines locally here in the next several days. In Vinton County, the health department is offering the Johnson & Johnson vaccines today. You can. It doesn't say anything about appointments, but it's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. today at the Vinton County Health Department. That is at 31927 State Route 93. Johnson & Johnson vaccine available in Vinton County. And you know what they're doing? This is creative. The Vinton County Health Department tomorrow, they're going to the football game when the Vikings play at home.
That is so smart.
They're going to have a Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine clinic at the football game.
So smart.
From 6:30 p.m., that's before the kickoff, through halftime. So an opportunity.
Yeah, let's go to the big crowd of people.
What a chance to, see a lot of people. Now, in Jackson County, there is a clinic at the high school, and there's a reason it's a high school. First, it's a big venue, but once again, Kevin Aston has said that he is wanting to target younger people, and this is where they hang out, of course. But the vaccine clinic here in Jackson County will be this Saturday at Jackson High School at the field house from 10 a.m. to noon. No appointment necessary. It's not going to cost you. Just show up. And also, they have emphasized, once again, they said this before, and I think Health Commissioner Aston said this at the commissioners meeting, they will make an arrangement to get you a vaccine if you contact them personally.
House calls even.
Right, exactly. They said they've done house calls. They say they'll go to a business, where there's might be 10 or 15 people that are interested or whatever, maybe just 2 or 3, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to ask them. Now, this is something that has to be arranged, but they'll do it. The health department is not a big place, so just don't, show up with 10 or 15 people, but give them a call. They will do vaccinations there at the health department building. They'll come out to you, whether it's business or home. You just have to make the arrangements. 740-286-5094.
There you go.
Something interesting on the state level, Jennifer. I want to see what you think about this. There is a bill before the state legislature that would stop employers. That's the Ohio House of Representatives and the Ohio Senate. There is a bill, a proposed law, that would stop employers from requiring workers to receive COVID-19 vaccinations. So, do you think, you're an employer, do you think that a business has a right to require workers to have the vaccination? In other words, that's my business. Of course, they're making it the employees their business that way.
Right.
They're taking the decision away from them. So, where do you land on that?
I feel very strongly about this.
Well, let's hear it.
This is not a communist country.
Okay.
The government does not control us in
Right.
my business. So
Okay.
whatever I want to do in my own business is none of their business.
Okay, right.
So if it's my prerogative that I require folks to be vaccinated, that's my prerogative. If all my employees walk out because of it, that's on me.
Okay.
Government should not be controlling that.
Okay, should the government, because this is kind of the reverse question, should they be able to tell you that you can't do it if you want to do it?
No.
Okay, so you're fair.
No government control over my business.
Just the same way that you individually should decide whether you get the vaccine, the businesses should be able to decide yay or nay whether they require it.
Absolutely.
Okay, your individual freedom. All
yes.
right, land on
100%.
that side. All right, okay, we're going to get away from COVID-19 because there's some other things to report too.
I saw this. This is horrible.
All right.
Poor Harvey.
I know. There was a crash in Wellston. It didn't turn out to be serious, but it was noteworthy because the automobile involved.
It looked bad though.
The automobile involved ran up on Monument Square, right there in the middle of Wellston. There is the picture. If you're watching there on your computers or tablets or whatever, that small car ran up on Monument Square. And Monument Square is an island in the middle of Broadway. Yes. Right there where Broadway and just not very far from where Broadway and Pennsylvania came together, right in the heart of Wellston. It skipped up onto that island, over the curb, and into the base of the statue of the town founder, Harvey Wells.
Oh, Harvey.
Now, Harvey was up on the podium, the pedestal a little bit,
yes.
So he didn't get hit, but the base got hit. As it turned out, there was little or no damage that you could see on that concrete or granite base, whatever it is. I think it's concrete. That
the car,
part of it.
However.
The car, as you can see, didn't come out of it very well. The undercarriage was damaged as well. Probably a total job, I'd say for sure. The elderly lady who was driving, thankfully, was not injured.
Well, Pete, does anyone know how that happened?
They say the Wellston Police Department just say that the car went out of control. I don't think that she was going fast, just, I don't know, inattention or whatever. Ran up on the curb there and went over the curb into the corner of that the base of that statue.
Well, listen, the statue can be replaced and cars can be replaced, but people can't be replaced. So just happy that no one was seriously injured.
Right. Well, the female driver is just fine. She's okay. And Harvey is okay as well. He's still standing there.
Good.
All right. Another crash yesterday morning, a couple hours before that one in Wellston. Happened out on State Route 32 and Mayu Road.
Shocker.
Yes, well, and this was
never happens.
This was a 3-vehicle wreck, and this doesn't look very good right there. That white pickup truck is on its top. There you see a patrol trooper, some Jackson firefighters standing there in the aftermath of that wreck. I was out there on the scene, and this was one, I got a call on it. Oh my gosh, it looks real bad. So I ran out there. It did look bad. But the male driver of that pickup truck walked away. No injuries.
Okay.
EMS came. There were 3 vehicles involved in this. None of the drivers, except for cuts and bruises maybe, had any injuries worth to speak of. None of them were transported. A lot of times they'll transport you as a precaution, but they felt like there was no need to do that, the medical people on the scene. But on this wreck, what happened was... it happens quite often on the 4-lane highway. It happened when actually this white pickup was pulling out from Mayu Road on the Porter Ford side, the side towards Jackson, and he was crossing the 4 lanes of State Route 32 to get to the other side of Mayu Road, on the other side of the highway, and there was a vehicle coming the other way, coming from Waverly this way.
Okay.
And he wasn't able to clear it, so it was a failure to yield type wreck.
Hey, that stuff happens all the time at those intersections.
And you
out
say,
there.
how were there 3 vehicles involved? Well, the pickup truck that you saw there in the picture that flipped over on its top, it was knocked over towards the other side of Mayu Road, where there was another pickup truck sitting at the stop sign, seeing what was happening, and the pickup truck ran into it when it bounced onto its top.
Sure.
But once again, none of the three drivers suffered any serious
That's
injuries.
great.
Cuts and bruises, according to the patrol. The one driver cited for failure to yield from a stop sign. And certainly make sure when you're crossing the highway, wherever it is, State Route 32, US 35, or whatever, people are coming at motorists are coming at highway speed on there.
Look again.
Right. Be real careful.
Yeah.
Maybe just go halfway across. Make sure there's nobody coming, because they're not thinking about stopping at all, because they've got the right of way.
Sure.
All right. In Vinton County, we want to say that we have published and also posted the list of candidates for Vinton County election, the general election on November the 2nd. And this is what we call a grassroots election. A lot of local offices are on the line. We talked about some of the offices or some of the candidates and offices that are on the line in Jackson County. Well, in Vinton County, same thing. Candidates for village office are running, candidates for township office are running, school board, and there are some tax levies as well. In the some highlights on this, because the list is too lengthy to go through. But in Vinton County, there are 4 candidates for 2 school board spots. Cindy Strasbaugh is the only incumbent. Scarlett Newton, Laura Martin, and Scott Phelps are all challengers running. And I don't know whether there's a direct connection or not, but I suspect there is. 3 of those people that I just mentioned were at a recent Vinton County School Board meeting arguing over whether masks should be in the schools.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, maybe, that's part of their motivation for running.
Maybe.
And they were people on both sides of the issue.
Really?
Among those 3 candidates. Okay. And they were debating. Of course, the Vinton County schools decided not to require masks in all situations inside the buildings. So right now, Oak Hill and Wellston made that same decision. Jackson, of course, going with masks. But everybody has to wear them on the school buses.
Yes.
Because that is a CDC dictate.
Yep.
All right. So if you want to see, who all is running for office in Vinton County, we've got that list posted on our newspaper website, www.thetelegram.news.com, as well as on Facebook, and it was in last Wednesday's edition of The Telegram. All right, good things happening at the Village Park in MacArthur, Wyman Park. We've talked about that. Some of that equipment, the new playground equipment, has arrived. It has not been installed yet, but it will be. This is the old swing set at Wyman Park.
Okay.
Our Red Thompson Jr. was on the scene. He said that this swing set will be among the playground equipment pieces that will be replaced. Through grants and a donation drive, the Creating Healthy Communities Coalition, that's a part of the Vinton County Health Department, and the Village of MacArthur and its park board work together along with community people to raise money to get new equipment for, I don't know whether they're going to replace all the equipment, but a bunch of new equipment is going into Wyman Park.
That's awesome.
So that will be happening in the next several weeks, so people in MacArthur and all of Vinton County can be very proud of that. All right, in Jackson City, we have a new councilman, and he is a familiar face maybe to some people because he's been around a long time, and his name is Harold Newkirk. Harold Newkirk there is on the left, and he is standing beside Justin Lovett. Justin Lovett is the Jackson County prosecuting attorney, but in this particular case, his role is that he is the chairman of the Jackson County Republican Central Committee. Last Monday evening, because we told you about this on our Main Street TV on Monday morning.
Sure.
They had a caucus meeting. That's the Jackson City caucus of the Central Committee. Those 3 members got to pick a new councilman to take the place of the late John Peters to serve as the 2nd Ward councilman in Jackson. Mr. Peters, of course, died after a brief illness on August the 9th. So the mission of the city caucus, because Mr. Peters was a Republican, was to pick a new Republican from the 2nd Ward to serve the remainder of the term, which is through the end of the year. And also, because that particular office is on the ballot, and Mr. Peters had already been certified as a candidate, that person could also be on the ballot on November 2nd for the full 2-year term that will start next January. So the only candidate, as it turned out, was Harold Newkirk. Now, Harold he's lived in the second ward of Jackson, which is on the northeast side of the city mainly, for 63 years, which I take it is his whole life.
Wow.
He's been a Republican for 36 years. He's always been interested in government and politics, but never did anything about it and saw this opportunity. He was the only person to apply for the position, and as it turned out, he was appointed. Now, it was not unanimous. The vote was 2-1. Caucus members Brett Foster and Marlena Evans voted for him. Not councilman, but committee member Debbie Biggs voted against him. She said it was nothing personal against Harold Newkirk. She just thought they ought to take another week and try to get more applicants, have
just
a
to
choice.
give more time for people to apply.
Right,
yeah.
right. And the other two members felt like, here's the only one that came forward. He looks good to us. We'll go ahead. Mr. Newkirk was actually at the council meeting on Monday night. However, he has to go through some paperwork with the Board of Elections. So he will officially go to work the next council meeting when he will probably be sworn in by Mayor Randy Evans, and he will take his seat at that time. So congratulations to Harold Newkirk and that.
Exciting.
Right, exactly. And also at the council meeting, we talked on Monday, we acknowledged the death of Deputy City Auditor Wendy Sexton, who was very highly thought of. And once again, she dies, I think everybody can agree, too young, came down with a serious illness and passed away recently. They said some things about Wendy. They had a moment of silence for her at the beginning of the meeting. Council President Dan Fulks asked for that. And then both Mayor Evans and Brett Reed said some very revealing things about Wendy that showed not only what they think of her personally, but also professionally. Mayor Evans said he noted that Wendy had been an employee for 23 years, and in the 1.5 years that Randy has been mayor, he said that she was my go-to person if he had any questions financially, and that he considered her, one of the city's very top employees, and that she would be difficult to replace. Brett Reed, who is the city auditor and has been for 10 years or so, 13 years, I think, he took it one step further. He said that Wendy was the functioning auditor. He was the people manager.
Yep.
That was a great compliment to give Wendy. And so Wendy has been there for 23 years, and Brett worked with her even before he was city auditor. He was on council, and he was the chairman of the Budget Finance Committee, which, of course, has to work closely with the auditor's office. And he said that she will be very difficult to replace. So in addition to the moment of silence, when Councilwoman Debbie Biggs did the prayer, she mentioned the losses of both John Peters on August the 9th and Wendy Sexton after that as being, blows to the city. And, she asked for everybody to keep their families, the Sexton family and the Peters families, in their prayers. So sad times at the city of Jackson. You lose a councilman, and then just a week or so later, you lose the veteran deputy auditor.
We lost Rob Norman earlier too,
and then Rob Norman very early in the year as well.
So crazy.
Right. Okay. Well, 9/11 is coming up, the anniversary, and believe it or not, 20 years. Did you realize that?
No.
This is the 20-year anniversary. It will be.
I was sitting right here when it happened too.
Right. I was downstairs when it happened.
Yep.
I remember Brian Vance. He was here then. The news broke. Michael Knisley, who used to be the general manager here, he was in his office, had a little portable TV in there. And I actually saw when the second plane hit the building. And Mike Knisley, who was in military, he said right then, this was on purpose. This was a terrorist act. It was some freaky thing, like somebody thought maybe the first one was.
Well, yeah, I think everyone thought the first one could have just been a horrific accident, and not so much.
Exactly. Well, the 9/11, the 9/11 anniversary is going to be remembered here with two different ceremonies. The Jackson County EMS is going to sponsor a 9/11 remembrance ceremony on Saturday, September 11, of course.
Okay.
That is going to be in the morning at Alumni Stadium in Jackson.
Oh,
so, you have the opportunity for a lot of people to come, but there's going to be law enforcement, EMS, and firefighters all involved. The stadium will be open to the public at 7:45 with a program beginning at 8 a.m. An honor guard will present callers. There'll be the national anthem. There'll be remarks, and then they'll do the symbolic stair climb to show their support for all those men and women who lost their lives in that 9/11 tragedy. It will go until 10:30 a.m. There will be 6 different moments of silence to memorialize the 6 major events that took place that day. Of course, 3 major venues, of course, for the 9/11 tragedy, of course, in New York City, Washington, D.C. at the Pentagon, and then in that Pennsylvania field. So everybody is invited to attend. You may even walk the stairs in whatever gear or uniform you want in solidarity for all those first responders and law enforcement people that are going to be there to honor the memory of what happened on September 11, 2001. We'll be putting out a lot more information on that, of course, in the telegram, on the radio, and I'm sure that maybe we'll have some folks up here on Main Street TV to talk about it.
I hope so. Got to get people involved in that. It's
right,
an
exactly.
important deal.
I knew that they were going to do this some time ago. This was the first information that they've kind of put out about where it's going to be and some of the things that are going to happen. And we'll have more information here in the coming weeks. The Wellston American Legion post, that's post 371 in Wellston, they're going to do a remembrance ceremony as well. Theirs is going to be at noon on September 11th.
Hey, you can go to both then.
Yeah, you can. The commemoration ceremony will honor the victims of the attacks on the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and of course what happened in Pennsylvania. The American military service personnel who died in the war against terrorism, they will be memorialized as well. The Legion said in their press release, "We must not forget all those who gave their lives for this great country." That came from Legion Post Commander Robin Johnson. The ceremony is set once again for noon. It will begin with recognition of the emergency service personnel who have remained strong through the entire ordeal on the attack on America, and who have upheld the honor of patriotism. So once again, this is open to the public as well. Noon at the American Legion Post on South Pennsylvania Avenue in Wellston. We'll be telling you more about that as well.
Okay.
All right. The Ohio Hill Country Festival is coming, remember?
It is.
First week of
whatever it's called this year.
It's the
right.
it is the Ohio Hill Country Festival for the second year by the Ohilco Society.
Okay. So then it was
the coal is out of the picture.
The Coal Festival, now it's the Ohilco Festival, and now it's the
right. And Ohilco is an acronym of sorts for Ohio Hill Country. It always has been. Yeah. Nobody probably knew that came from Ohio Hill Country except the people that made it up.
Right.
But it is the Ohio Hill Country Festival by the Ohilco Society, and it will be called all 3 things, I'm sure, until people get used to it. But it's going to be September 7th through 11 on the downtown streets of Wellston. I know the folks, the hardworking folks of the Ohilco Society are already working on it. We're going to have some information out soon about the festival, who the Grand Marshal is and all like that. They've made those decisions, not really released it yet. However, they do want to get the word out about some events where, there can be public participation and you just can't walk up and do it. For instance, you can participate in the art show. The art show will be at the Wellston Depot, and it is open to amateurs and professionals alike. The entry fee is only $5 for professionals, $3 for amateurs. There is no fee if you're a youth. And a monetary prize will be awarded for first place in each division category, as well as best of show. For more information on the art show, you can call Dana Lockard, 418-6610. Registration and check-in for the artist will be Sunday, September 5th, and then it will be on display through part of Sunday afternoon, which is Saturday, September 11th. And that will be at the Depot. It is always held in conjunction with the Ohio Hill Country Festival.
Sure.
So, if you've got
that's always a good one. That's a big art show.
It is. If you've got a work of art, consider about submitting it. If you're working on one, make sure you get it done in time to be part of this art show. Also, Jennifer, this doesn't go for you or me unless you turn into a singer.
No, they will pay us the prize money to not participate.
Okay. Absolutely. The Ohio Hill Country Festival is having its annual karaoke contest.
Not it.
They wanted to come up with
James.
No, he says no.
Okay.
They wanted to come up with some kind of crowd, some kind of main entertainment and crowd generator for Friday evening. And
Sure.
they've done this before. They came up with a karaoke contest. Now, that's not new, but they've tried to make it worth your while to participate. 500 simoleons to the winner of this contest, you know.
Are you kidding?
Are you thinking about maybe doing
Wow.
it? $500?
Me.
Okay, a $500 grand prize, and then smaller cash prizes for a second and third place. All it takes is a $20 entry fee. They get sponsors to help, pay the freight for the prize winners. But you must submit an entry ahead of time. It's not a walk-up thing, but you have until September the 8th to do it. Applications received after Wednesday, September 8th. This is on Friday, September 10th at one of the stages there in Wellston. It will have an increased entry fee of $25 if you're after September 8th, so you can still do it, but it will cost you a little bit more. Contestants may arrive and check in at the main stage no later than 6:45 p.m. the day of the contest. And once again, this will be 7:30 p.m. on Friday, September 10th. That is the main entertainment on Friday night at the Ohio
$500? You kidding me?
Right, and if you're interested, you can call Danielle Lindemood for more information, 740-418-7232, or Aaron Dupree, 740-418-1941. I think their numbers also you can find on the Ohio Hill Country Festival website or Ohilco Society website, same thing. All right, and there's many other events as well that we'll touch on a little bit later.
Okay.
We want to pass this note on from the patrol. Now, this is no shocker, but it's worth stating over again because school has started and you have to be aware of this. You have to be aware of the school buses.
Hey, what did I say the other day, James? Did I not give
past the school buses?
Did I not give the lecture
You did.
with the finger and all? I did the
did.
pointing finger and all of that.
Okay, well,
So
the Ohio Highway Patrol, and this is a statewide thing, but
listen.
it goes through us too because we have a lot of kids that ride school buses.
Yes, we do.
As the school buses return to the roadways, the Ohio State Highway Patrol wants to remind you, this is very important information, you are required to stop at least 10 feet in front of or behind a school bus when they have the flashing lights on and an extended arm. And if you see them stopping and they've stopped, you may as well stop right then because the lights are going to be flashing.
Buddy, I lock up those brakes as soon as I see that school bus starting to stop. I don't care if I'm 100 yards away. I stop.
Right. And
I don't want anything near a child.
No, no.
My vehicle near any child.
Right, exactly. And, after they put that arm back in and they stop the flashing lights, you still legally cannot move until you see the school bus actually moving.
Yep.
The patrol also reminds motorists to plan ahead and allow extra times for school bus stops. And I know for a fact, and I think this will probably go anywhere, but in the Jackson City School District, you will get turned in to law enforcement if you violate that. And sometimes,
it's not good.
Sometimes you may do it and you're not trying to be careless or anything like that. You're just not paying attention or you think no big deal, I'm going to go around the school bus. Can't do that.
No.
Not when it's stopped with the lights flashing.
Listen, this is just Jen's thing again, and I said this the other day. There is nowhere that you have to be that's more important than a child.
No, exactly. And, you got kids
You're
from preschool
not
and up.
that big of a hurry.
They're not very big, and they're I know they're getting coached and the bus drivers do a great job, but they're just you got to be real careful if you're driving the car.
See, a lot of people don't realize this, and I see it on my road constantly on standpipe. School bus stops. School bus isn't necessarily on the side of the road that the child is going to. Mm-hmm. So the school bus stops, arm comes out, lights are flashing, you stop because that child can be walking all the way across the road to get to where they're going. Mm-hmm. So don't just think they're getting out the side of the door and running up their driveway. I see kids running across the road all the time. And so just don't think that you know what's going to happen. You need to make sure you watch that child and make sure that they've made it.
Right. And, if a young child isn't watching themselves and they're being a little
They
careless.
don't. They're
It's on you.
excited and
It's on you.
It
as
is
the motor.
your responsibility.
It is on you. It is on you as the motorist, no matter what.
So passionate about that. It just makes me just so mad when people are in such a hurry to get nowhere.
Right. And you think, well, that's no big deal. Well, if something tragic would happen, you don't get a do-over.
You don't get that back. And it's the same with funeral processions too, but that's for another story.
Right. Well,
that is against the law too.
Yeah, you really
to not pull over for a funeral.
Right. Well,
just makes you a jerk.
Out of respect, you should certainly do that. But now it's football Friday night coming
Woo-hoo!
Our way. And I tell you, one of the big stories is down at Oak Hill High School, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Not only is it the first home game with the Fairland Dragons coming in to play the Oaks, but it is the first game for the new artificial turf. And take a look at that. Our own James Hamilton took that panoramic picture. But
Good job, James.
It is beautiful. You can see the different blends of the green there that really sets it off, and the new Oaks logo in the middle of the field, and of course the black and red in the end zones. It's very beautiful. I've seen it myself. And we had that picture on the front page of our Wednesday edition.
That's amazing.
If you want to see it, and we have it posted as well. Very beautiful. And so the game will go on as regular on that field. They had to work very hard this summer to get that field done. The track repair work is not done, and that's a little bit of a mess there. They're going to have to, tarp that off so people can't walk on it or whatever.
Well, we don't need the track till spring.
No, you don't need the track till spring. It's probably going to end up with the band and the cheerleaders kind of in a different place, but they'll still be able to do their thing as well. And of course, the band and the football team will as well. But the ball game will be 7 o'clock this Friday, and it will be on WCJO 97.7 FM with Brian Howe calling the action.
Okay.
And the Oaks lost at Wellston last week, but they're home this week against Fairland, an old rival from the old days in the OVC. All right, a program note. We want to tell you about the Jackson-Ironton football game. It's at Ironton, and they have changed the start time. It is going to be 7:30 p.m. Instead of 7 p.m. And I understand this morning that decision was made out of concern because of the heat that we've had this week.
Yes.
It'll be a half hour later start, which should help a little bit. But this is a big football game.
Big.
The Ironmen are considered to be, we hope they live up to this, one of the better teams in the area. Ironton goes in probably, without a doubt, considered the best team in the area. They've been to the state finals 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
They lost that game, but they got there. And everybody thought, well, they maybe won't be quite as good this year. Ironton 40, Wheelersburg 6.
Yeah, that's all you have to say.
Yeah, right. So through the ignorant in the group, Wheelersburg is considered one of the very top teams in the area as well.
Yep.
And that score was 40-6. 40-6. I said it again. So Jackson goes down there. I know they won't be cowed. They're excited for the opportunity, but this will probably be their biggest challenge of the season. The Ironmen did win big their first week against Logan, 42-7. But Jackson just has a loaded schedule, especially before they even get into their conference play. And so Dan Morrow and myself will be down there, and we'll be starting just a little bit later, but we'll probably go on the air probably shortly after 7 o'clock because we've got a lot to say. We'll have the Coach Andy Hall show there as well.
Okay.
All right. And that will be on WKOV 96.7 FM. Another program note. The schedule said that the Vinton County Vikings would be at Crooksville for Game 2. Well, there's problems with Crooksville with their stadium and their facility.
Yes.
And they're not going to be able to play. This is so sad
for
Crooksville.
Ceramics?
The ceramics. Right. They're into pottery up there.
I guess.
All right. I think they are anyway. But anyway, Crooksville is not going to be able to play a single home game this year. That's bad for the fans and the kids. So they're hitting the road and they're coming to Vinton County instead of the other way around. And so Vinton County gets an extra home game, chance for a vaccination as well.
There you go.
And so that game is at a 7 o'clock start, though, and it will be on WYRO 98.7 FM. And our other game, no program notes there, but we want to tell you about it. The Wellston Golden Rockets, who beat Oak Hill the first week, 28-6. They will be heading west to take on the Piketon Red Streaks. Piketon, by the way, went up and beat Minford last week, which opened up some eyes. Piketon's got a very strong team, so Wellston will have a big challenge to get victory number 2. But that game will be on YPC 1330 AM and the FM complement 105.3 FM. I'm going to let James tell you how you can get it streaming and online, all these ball games, because I might say it wrong.
So the app is called now I said it wrong. The app is called Total Media Radio. You can download it for iPhone and Android. If you don't have a smartphone or you would rather listen from your computer, you can go online to yourtotalmedia.com/radio and click the Listen Live tab and then select the correct station.
That's right. Or you can just turn on your good old-fashioned radio as well.
Right. Yes, you can do that. But I tell you what,
no matter where you are,
allows
that's
the
convenient.
Potential reach
Yes.
so much farther. You got all
Absolutely.
those. You got all those folks who remember their alma mater, but maybe they moved away. They don't have to, call somebody or get a text from somebody about, hey, how'd the game go?
Check out Facebook.
They can listen to it. It's such a great thing, that we're now able to offer here at Total Media. So anyway, football Friday night.
Love that.
All of our radio guys will be there to cover the game. By the way, it's Jeff Thacker and Bob Grillo for Vinton County, and Rick Perdue and Mark Thomas, who wasn't there this week. I believe he'll be back this week.
Cool.
For the ball game. So all that coming up, and of course, we'll be trying to follow it on our social media platforms to get you scores out and things like that. And then we'll be following up with the full stories on our website and in the print edition next week.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, very good then. I hardly gave you time to tell us about the weather.
Well, that's okay, Pete. We appreciate it. We know you had a big stack today.
Right, we did. Okay, well, I'll head downstairs and you tell us whether it's going to rain on Friday night.
Okay, I will. So let's head on over to, speaking of the Total Media Radio app, your weather forecast, which calls for partly cloudy skies today, highs around 88. But you think that's not so bad. That heat index is around 93, and it is hot, hot, hot out there. Tonight, partly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms, lows around 69. That chance of rain is about 30%. And then tomorrow on Friday for your football Friday night or Friday day, partly cloudy, a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. Highs of 89, but that heat index is around, are you ready for this, 97 degrees. For tomorrow night for your football games, partly cloudy, some isolated thunderstorms, and lows around 70. So it is going to be a scorcher for the next few days. Looking like, I didn't print out the extended forecast, but looking like as next week rolls around, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get a little bit cooler temperatures. So there you go. Just please be safe out there. Hydrate. Make sure that you check on your neighbors and your friends and family that may or may not have air conditioning, your pets, all of that stuff. Also, just wanted to let you know, there is a rummage sale at the Faith Lutheran Church this coming Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're going to have clothing and shoes in many sizes, blankets, quilts, drapes, curtains, household decor, kitchen tools, art, Christmas decorations, furniture, antiques, all of that fun stuff. And, of course, everything that is sold there, the proceeds go to help others in our area from the church. So that is the Faith Lutheran Church. That's on Huron Street here in Jackson this coming Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., that rummage sale. And they have that every year, and it's always a good one. So check it out. All right. Well, James, anything you have over there?
I'm all good, Jen.
Okay. All right. Well, get out of here for today. Tomorrow, we do have a guest from Bellisio Foods coming in. We're going to talk about all things Bellisio tomorrow. Everything from their new expansion and construction to employment, their health clinic, all of that. So we look forward to having them here tomorrow. So until then, stay cool, everyone, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.